දරාලෙක් අග ලොවාසිත් මල ගොතන මැන ලන්නේ සාරිසාර කිසිනේ
Dahi pagaloyat raga madalnet upide tolu binnat
දෙසෝ හැරගිය ලසෝ රවල් අමාවක අඳුරේ නොයෙක් මැනලන්නේ
bala galapidi nila kalubari hantaana sihine badina turkana turinillan taru eduru kiya hannan
සොඳුරුත්තේ සඳ සියේ දෙන්නයි සිලින් මැන සොඳුරේ අන්තාන අරනේ
hantaana sihine bala galapidi nila kalubari hantaana sihine
දරාලෙක් අග ලොවාසිත් මල ගොතන මැන ලන්නේ සාරිසාර කිසිනේ
pagaloyat raga madalnet upide tolu binnat
දෙසෝ හැරගිය ලසෝ රවල් අමාවක අඳුරේ නොයෙක් මැනලන්නේ
bala galapidi nila kalubari hantaana
Can I have your attention, please? Can Mr. W.L.R. Kularatne come to the podium? Can Mr. W.L.R. Kularatne come to the podium?
Darahmet kavga dolaşıp mal götürüp mene lanne sarı sarı çizine
वही पवनुयक रंगो मदन में उम्मीद तू बिंदक
Deşo ergire lato ral amak adune noel menelane
बड़ा गलती लीला कलू बड़ी हंसान सीने बड़ी तुरमन तुरी तुरसे किया हन्ना
Çolurukte sanı diye sengan Dilim mene sorure Altan arne
हंसान सीने बड़ा गलती लीला कलू बड़ी हंसान सीने
Darahmet kavga dolaşıp mal götürüp mene
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm greatly honored and humbly privileged to welcome you to the new entrance welcome ceremony of the 2015 and 16 batch, Faculty of Medicine, University of Pennsylvania. To commence the proceedings, the procession will be arriving inside the hall shortly. May I kindly request you to rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the recital of the University Anthem. Thank you very much. Now you may take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, to mark the commencement of the formal proceedings, may I take the honor to inviting the following dignitaries to light the traditional oil lamp. Vice Chancellor Professor Upulvi Disanayaka, Deputy Vice Chancellor Professor Lakshman Vijayveera, Inaugural Speaker Professor Sarath Lekamwasan, Dean Faculty of Medicine Professor Vajira Veerasinghe, Dean Faculty of Agriculture Professor Gamini Pushpakumara, Dean Faculty of Allied Health Sciences Professor Mahinda Vikramaratna, Dean Faculty of Arts Professor O.G. Dayaratna Banda, Dean Faculty of Dental Sciences Professor W.M. Tilakaratna, Dean Faculty of Engineering Professor Leelananda Rajapaksha, Dean Faculty of Management Professor Milton Rajaratna, Dean Faculty of Science Professor Saluka R. Kodituwakku, Dean Faculty of Veterinary Medicine and Animal Science Aryaratna, Acting Bertha Mr. A.R.M. Edirisinghe, Proctor Professor Asoka Dangolla, Acting Assistant Registrar Mrs. Natasha Aryaratna, Assistant Bertha Faculty of Medicine Mrs. D. S.C.T. Kumari, Deputy Proctor Dr. Rasika Kotakadeniya, Chairman Student Affairs Dr. Irishika Fernando, Acting Librarian, President, Medical Faculty Student Union, Mr. Dudula Singh. Highest research holder from 2015-16 batch, Mr. W.L.R. Purarat. Thank you very much. May I now take the opportunity to invite Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Professor Vajravir Singh, to welcome this esteemed audience.
Good morning. Vice Chancellor, Professor Pulbi Disanayaka, inaugural lecturer and our distinguished alumnus, Professor Sarat Lekamasam, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, University of Roone, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Lakshman Javira, Deans of Faculties, Registrar, Bursa, Proctor, Librarian, and other higher officials of the University of Peradeniya, Professor HMDR Herath, former Professor in Sociology, Faculty of Arts, University of Peradeniya, Directors of Teaching Hospitals, Senior Professors, Professors, Associate Professors, Senior Lecturers and Lecturers, Consultants from the Teaching Hospitals, English Teachers, Maintenance Engineer, Chief Medical Officer, non-academic and other staff members of the University, invited guests, President of the Medical Faculty Students Union, senior medical students present here, dear parents, and my dear students. On behalf of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Peradeniya, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you who are present here at one of the most important events in the undergraduate academic calendar of our faculty, the inauguration ceremony of welcoming the new entrants 2015-16. In fact, this is the first faculty in the university which is taking students this year. I wish to thank the Vice Chancellor for gracing this occasion as the chief guest today. Thank you, sir. I also like to thank Professor Sarath Lekamwasam, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna, for accepting our invitation and coming all the way from Karapitiya, Gaul, to deliver the inaugural lecture to inspire our new entrants. Thank you, Sarath, and welcome back to Peradeniya, your alma mater. I also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Deans of all the other faculties, and other higher officials of the University of Peradeniya, Directors of teaching hospitals, faculty staff, consultants, and invited guests for being present at this occasion. Dear parents, I'm sure today is a day all of you were waiting for, the day your son or daughter enters the Peradeniya Medical Faculty. I sincerely hope that after 5 years, they will graduate with academic excellence so that your dream will come true. My dear students, you have entered today into the best medical faculty in Sri Lanka, which offers an academically sound, technologically advanced, and socially conducive learning environment with a wealth of clinical resources to the study of medicine. Our country has made a great investment in you. It has provided you with an opportunity which you have earned. I request you to make use of this opportunity wisely so that you and the country will benefit from the investment. The faculty is excelling both in academic affairs as well as in social and other spheres. During the last several years, our graduates have secured the first place in the common merit list of all the medical graduates in the country, including this year, beating Colombo 5 times in the last several years. Our students have been the winners of the National Pediatric Quiz several times in a row, the champions of the National Diabetes Quiz, the runners-up at the International Physiology Quiz held in Malaysia. They have also won the Best Research Paper Award at the International Students' Congress on Medical Sciences held in Amsterdam, and the Royal College of Psychiatrists' annual academic sessions held in London. One student represented the University of Peradeniya at the first Asian University Chess Championship held in China, and represented the university at the Ecosperity Young Leaders Dialogue 2016 in Singapore. I can go on the students' achievements. Your undergraduate medical course leading to the degree of MBBS runs for 5 years. It is based on a horizontally and vertically integrated modular curriculum designed to teach basic and applied medical sciences together with a comprehensive clinical program. Many of your teachers are nationally, regionally, and globally renowned, highly accomplished medical researchers, scientists, and clinicians with international collaboration. Clinical training is conducted at the teaching hospitals Peradeniya, Kandy, and at Sirimao Bandaranaike Specialized Children's Hospital, with support from nearby major hospitals. Faculty has some of the best teaching and research medical laboratories with state-of-the-art technology. Your predecessors, by their commitment to work and dedication, have brought fame and pride to this faculty and the university. I hope you too will work towards achieving similar or better standards and keep Peradeniya flag flying high. Before I finish, I wish to thank the Student Affairs Committee, which organizes this event, chaired by Dr. Irushika Fernando and her energetic, enthusiastic, and reliable team, together with the Dean's Office staff, Technical Resource Center, and E-Library of the Medical Faculty staff, and the Maintenance and Landscape Division, and other staff from the University of Peradeniya for colorfully organizing this event. Finally, dear new entrants, wishing you best of luck for your future, I sincerely hope at the end of the course, You should not only be a medical graduate equipped with knowledge and skills, but one who possesses necessary attitudes to be a kind, caring, and compassionate doctor and serve the people of our country to whom we all are indebted. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the encouraging words. It is my privilege to welcome and to invite our chief guest, Professor Upulbi Dissanayake, Vice Chancellor of University of Peradeniya, to address this gathering.
Good morning to everybody. First of all, I would like to welcome all the new students for entering today to this prestigious university as well as this prestigious faculty. And at the same time, I would like to congratulate all of you for this great achievement. As we are all aware, this time students have come to Peradeniya based only on merit. Only on merit. So that is a great thing and we can be happy about ourselves. At the same time, I must make a note about our staff as well. My dear students, there is a staff in Peradeniya Faculty of Medicine. They are well trained, reputed, and world-renowned professors and lecturers. So it's up to you all to take the mean advantage of these resources. And now the big day has arrived for you all. Why do I say like that? This is the day have been waiting for 20 years or 18 years. This is the day that you have been working for 10 to 20 years throughout to enter into the medical faculty. At last, you have achieved your objective. Now, whether you like or not, I must say in this occasion, there is no guarantee those who are entering to the Faculty of Medicine will all get MBBS and leave this place. There are dropouts. So reason is the students' discipline, way of behavior, and so on and so forth. Just at the entrance, you would have seen a banner hanging with the name Dharmasi. That was an unfortunate situation that we faced very recently, about 1 week or 2 weeks back. So students have taken their own decisions to go on their own for a trip without informing the authority, without informing the parents, so on and so forth. And at last, what happened was he was drowned and dead. So this message should go to parents. My dear parents, today is not the last day. Today is the date of beginning. So you have to be concentrated on your child throughout next 5 years if you are to achieve what you wanted to achieve. You at least once a week or twice a week or once a month, you have to communicate with your child and find out whether they are attending lectures, whether they are studying well, whether they are going for clinicals, whether they are coming for tutorials and so on and so forth. Because teachers alone can't do this. Parents are the best friends of their children. So please don't forget that you have to do that thoroughly for next 5 years. If in otherwise, that any unfortunate thing can happen. That the best example is in front of us now is Dharmasena, Kavishankar Dharmasena. And this, not only that, there are various external forces operating around, in and around Peradeniya, to which one of your children may get caught. It's a duty of the teachers and the parents to prevent this, getting them victimized. And I am not going to, I will discuss about the better part of the university, but these are the messages I have to pass as Vice Chancellor at the very beginning. May not be pleasant, but still that is the reality. Most of the people do not like to face the reality. But please, my dear parents, you have to be concentrate on this. At least in every 6 months, come to Peradeniya, have a meeting with teachers and the dean, and find out about the progress of your child, and keep on surveilling throughout until they complete their studies. That is very, very essential. During last 1 year, I have experienced that. If the parents are around, we can, we can work in hands in hand with parents to protect your child. That is very essential. Having said that, then you have come to one of the renowned universities, one of the world-famous universities. That is, you have been lucky enough to enter into this university. There are various things in the university, facilities available for you to enjoy one way, to learn the other way. Right. What are these facilities? You have enough sports facilities, reading facilities, and recreation facilities. Everything is there. Please make use of them. That is very essential. On top of that, there are about 12,500 students in the university, entering into 9 different faculties. That is a great opportunity for you all to mingle with those students, move with those students, work with those students, and you can learn a lot by mingling with them. They are coming from various ethnic groups. They are coming from various religious groups. They are coming from various political parties, so on and so forth. You will be experience all these things. If you want to be a perfect and complete person, it's very essential to this mixture, admixing, moving together, associating with them is very important. Please remember that. That is a very special occasion that you get in Peradeniya, not like in other universities. You will get a real representation from various ethnic and religious groups. With people with various ideas, you can learn a lot by moving with them. That's how you have to build your career and life, not only from your education or from your books. So please take this. Then only the leaders will emerge out of your. That's what the university or the university is expecting from you. And when if you come back to the discipline, that is one of the things I have to highlight here. Why discipline is important. You are going to be medical student, especially. You are entering into a noble profession where you will be respected everywhere. Whether it's in local or abroad, you will be respected as a doctor. But there is one part from your side. You have to be able to maintain your discipline. If you are not disciplined enough to be a doctor, but we have a responsibility not to discharge you to the society. Please remember that as well. As teachers, we have that responsibility. Right? We can't just indisciplined person we can't send to the society, because you are going to take over the responsibility or the health of the people of this country. That is a very big task. Hands of the lives of these people are in your hands, in your hands. Therefore, a medical student should be more disciplined than anyone else in the country, in the university. please take that advice, and we are there to, and we don't tolerate the indiscipline students. Parents must also know about this. First, we will advise and we will try to correct them. If they are not ready to listen, we will take drastic actions. Can't help. For the sake of protection of other students who are really disciplined, we have to take those. We are not hesitant to take tough actions against those who are not disciplined or not listen to teachers, or they are not ready to be with the discipline. Because as doctors, there is no, you have no excuses. You have to be, as you doctors, I must say, you must be, there are various properties that you have to have. You have to develop various qualities in your life, like, working on time, punctuality, trustworthiness, and, when you are dealing with patients in the future, you will learn that. Therefore, don't forget that you are medical students and maintain your discipline. And the staff is there. We are there to help you. And at the same time, I know most of the students are well disciplined and they work well. But there are outliers. You know what the meaning of outliers are. But we have to deal with them. Please get together with us. I want to may request again and again from parents. I know the parents are the key for all these things. And that is about discipline. And then finally, I know that I can understand the mixed feelings or emotions that parents are having today, because they are going to leave your loved ones or your children or your child within a couple of hours. I think this may be the first time you are leaving them alone. I can understand your emotions and feelings at this particular moment, because I have gone through that. I have felt that myself. Therefore, don't worry about that. We are there to look after your children. There is a very dedicated group of staff in Peradeniya, as well as there are systems in Peradeniya, proctoral system and various other systems. It is there operating very well, and we are there to look after you. Therefore, there is nothing to worry, but still, we need your support, help, and assistance to guide them properly, and then at the end of the 5 years, we will be able to give you a graduate. That cooperation is the one we need. Having said that, once again, congratulating on your achievement and thanking all of you. I'm going to wrap up my brief address.
Thank you, sir. Let me take the honor of inviting the following dignitaries to the head table. Vice Chancellor, Professor Upulvi Disanayaka, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, University of Peradeniya, Professor Vajra Veerasinghe, and the inaugural lecturer for today, Professor Sarath Lekambasa. We are greatly honored to have with us today Professor Sarath Lekambasa, Dean and Professor of Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna, and a distinguished alumni of Faculty of Medicine, Peradeniya. May I now request Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Peradeniya, Professor Vajra Veerasinghe, to introduce the inaugural lecturers to this esteemed audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I wish to introduce the inaugural lecturer, Professor Sarath Lekambasa, Dean and Chair Professor, Department of Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna, Sri Lanka. He is a senior consultant physician at the Professorial Medical Unit at the Teaching Hospital, Karapitiya. He is an honorary fellow of the College of Physicians of South Africa, honorary fellow of the Royal Australian College of Physicians, and honorary fellow of the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons, Pakistan. After entering the Faculty of Medicine, University of Peradeniya in 1978, he obtained MBBS in 1983 and MD from the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo in 1989, and proceeded to UK for postgraduate education in 1990. He obtained MRCT in 1993 and returned to Sri Lanka in the same year. In 1993, he joined the Department of Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna. Subsequently, based on his excellent academic credentials, he was promoted to the professor in medicine. He has spent 1 year in the Department of Medicine, Cambridge University, UK in 2000-2001 and underwent training on research related to osteoporosis and biostatistics. He was appointed to as the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna, and Chair Professor of Medicine, University of Ruhuna in 2014. In March 2012, he was awarded the degree of PhD by the Erasmus MC University in Rotterdam, Netherlands. His main area of research is osteoporosis and other metabolic bone diseases. In osteoporosis, he has done major contributions in clinical densitometry, management of glucocorticoid-induced osteoporosis, and hip geometry. He has contributed to two major management guidelines on glucocorticoid-induced osteoporosis, first by the Royal College of Physicians, London in 2002, and second by the International Osteoporosis Foundation in 2012. His special other research interests are diseases of the elderly, evidence-based medicine, medical writing, critical appraisal of medical literature, quality of clinical care, and patient safety. He has been the president of the Ceylon College of Physicians in 2012, the president of the Gaul Medical Association in 2004, the president of the Ruhuna Faculty of Medicine Teachers Association in 2004, and the president of the Osteoporosis Sri Lanka in 2010 to 2012. He has 39 research publications in reputed journals indexed in PubMed. He has delivered 6 orations in national and professional organizations, and of course his curriculum vitae goes on for many pages, which I will not deal with now because of the lack of time. The primary reason, however, why our faculty board decided to invite Professor Lekammasam today is because he is one of the highly accomplished alumnus of the faculty and could give our new students who are entering today an inspirational and exemplary direction to emulate and look forward in their own future career. Without taking much of your time, I would cordially invite Professor Sarath Lekammasam to deliver the inaugural lecture.
Professor Upal Dissanayake, Vice Chancellor, Peradeniya, Dr. Lakshman Jayveera, Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, Professor Vajra Veerasinghe, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, all academic members, including senior professors, department heads, team lecturers, and members of the non-academic staff, senior students, and these entrants. Let me thank at the very outset the Dean and the Faculty Board of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Runa, for giving me this opportunity to address the new students. I consider it as one of the highest honors bestowed on me. It always brings pleasant memories when you travel back to Peradeniya. Peradeniya not only gave me a degree and gave me a partner as well, made me a complete person. I'm not asking you to do the same, but then it's just to mention that Peradeniya cannot go. This event is a memorable occasion for me, as much as it's memorable to you, because this is the same lecture theatre where we gathered when we came in the first day. Also, I take this opportunity to thank Dean for the very generous introduction and also all the superlative words that you mentioned in the introduction. So thank you very much. Just get into the lecture. We all know that as we grow, we make significant milestones in our life. And one of those is what is called the selecting or entering into a medical faculty is one of those. When you enter a medical faculty, it completely changes your trajectory of your life or the direction of your life. Now it is too late for you to think of becoming an engineer, a biologist, or a physicist. Now you are on your way to become a medically qualified person. Just being a medical student brings a little halo around you. You are not only just a student. Now, as Vice Chancellor highlighted, there are implications of this. If you met with an accident, what will flash in the newspaper is not that a youth met with an accident. There will be a medical student from Peradeniya met with an accident. If you hit somebody, it is not just one youth hitting another. It will be a Peradeniya medical graduate hitting somebody. You can't escape from that. That's a little bit of burden that you need to walk around. You need to maintain the integrity of medical students right throughout your career, and then become a doctor, and become a little worse. There are many qualities that you need to uphold. When I was invited to give this lecture, well, I was very happy. But then I was clueless at the beginning what I'm going to tell the medical students, the entrants. But as I generally do, what I did was I collected a random sample of medical students from our faculty and asked them, could you remember you had an inaugural lecture? Surprisingly, at least part of them could not remember that they had inaugural lecture. And I know for sure they had, but then they couldn't remember. Now, nearly 50% of the students could not remember who was the lecturer, who was the speaker. I need not say that 100% could not remember a word, could not recall a single word that was the inaugural lecture. So after speaking to many people, I thought I will tell you some practical points that you should carry for the next 5 years. I'm not going to drill into what I call the educational principles. I think it's too early for that. I'll give some little practical hints that might come very handy, come very useful during the next 5 years. Becoming a medical student brings a lot of happy feelings. very much like falling in love for the first time. I think when in an era where the internet was not heard and the emails never existed, the postman rang bell in front of my house. That was in 1978 August, and delivered me this letter. You can see I'm still keeping the copy of that. It's a very good copy of that. So that is saying I was selected to Peradini Sagar. This is in an era where you go and sit the exam. You know nothing about the test scores and things like that. When you get the results, you come and fill the application, and then the letter is delivered to you. Absolutely no idea what is going on behind the scene. Another thing is you have absolute trust on the system. And this is how it works. Now, unfortunately, what happened is that the euphoria or the pleasant feeling of being a medical student doesn't last long, because soon you come to what is called the harsh reality of a medical student's life. That is true for the example I gave you about falling in love the first time. I think they both are almost the same price. Now, it's important to ask a question at some point why you want to become a doctor. This was actually one of the allegations that, level against Sri Lankan education system, because I was not asked why I want to become a doctor. Never in the pathway I was asked at any point why you want to become a doctor. But I decided to become a doctor. Then you had to give a reasonable answer why you want to become a doctor. And I think the most sort of, possible and also most sort of acceptable thing would be to say, I want to have a sick. No one can dispute it. But then we go back to the history. I think Lord Buddha was the best example, taking care of the ill monk. And this monk had rashes all over the body and neglected by other monks. And then Lord Buddha walked in and then took care of this particular monk. I don't know whether you know this Jataka story. I'm not going to read that. Now, why there's a high demand for medicine? When I say medicine is a medical career, not any other medicine is a medical career, because I think it's your professional training. So you are in for a professional training. When it's a professional training, end of that you are leading to a certain profession. And also there's a guaranteed employment, which I don't know how long it's going to be true, because Ministry of Health, according to the statistics, were supposed to stop recruiting doctors in 2010 because there's no allocation for the additional number of doctors, but they are not doing that for various reasons. But then that is something that we have to think about. But of course, when you become a doctor, there's a high social position that you acquire. And also, doctors are regarded and venerated, almost like venerated by the society. It gives a lot of high education opportunities, like, if you go to PhD, if you go to MD, there are various very high education opportunities, and which are available for a medical undergraduate or medical graduate. Of course, there are financial opportunities. I don't want to deny that. And then I said about the marriage prospectus as well. And I have stories, but I would not tell you. When I became a doctor, I could say that those which are highlighted were probably the objectives, were the things that I considered most why I want to become a doctor. I knew there's a guaranteed employment. And also I knew that you immediately keep at a higher social position. The people respect you, so that's why I want to become a doctor. Now, coin has two sides, we all know. And then there are several negative factors that you must consider. You need to work very hard. In fact, when I wrote it, actually, that was very, very hard, but I deleted one word. You really need to work hard. If you think I come for a leisure time faculty, forget about it. So you come for a really tough time. And the workload is much more than you ever imagined or you ever thought. So you're going to have less sleep, and all the medical students walk around with what is called sleep deprivation syndrome. You always have a little, what is called sleep debt. So always you have you need to sleep, so you have not slept for this thing. And a lot of stress. And this is particularly evidence before the exams, a lot of stress. And also separate you from your family and home. And you can't be bothered about, now you get worried about certain things happening in the family and at home, because you are taken up by the academic program, and it doesn't allow you to go back to run back to family all the time. Also limited time to what you like, going for cinema and various other things, and there are other things as well. It's not that hard. But when I saw this, I thought I will bring that, I will show the picture, but it's not that hard really. Now, best days of medical schools are the day you get in, so you are here, and also the day you graduate. So in between, you can see what it's going to be like. Okay. Now, there are challenges before you. Now, you need to get adjusted to what is called the physical environment, the learning environment, and also academic program. Now, in this one, the adjustability is more important than studying skills. I think if you really analyze your past performances of the MBBS thing, you'll find that it doesn't the A-level top become the merit list top. It has not happened. There's no connections like that, because the A-level performance is not linked with the MBBS performance. What is more important is adjustability. It is more important than your studying skills. I'm not saying that studying skills are less important, but then adjustability is more important. Now, you need to get adjusted into what's called the physical and the learning environment. That means you must get adjusted to what's called hostel life. You're going to live with hostels. Then some people, that for the first time you are living alone living away from your family. So some people have little concerns about the anxiety, but then you must get rid of that very quickly. The association with your roommates or batchmates, I'm telling that because I have experience for the last so many years in Ruhuna, and people struggle. People struggle with their roommates, and people struggle with their batchmates, and they end up in the Dean's office. Dean's office, as somebody said, is the final common pathway for everything. They're drawn to the Dean's office. But it's not too difficult to get adjusted to what is called the physical and the learning environment, when you consider the other things that you need to fall in line. Now, how you become a good roommate? Now, this is applicable from this afternoon onwards, isn't it? Okay? Now, you got to be considerate. If your roommate is trying to fall asleep or sleeping, now keep the noise down. Don't start singing in the room. Now, if your roommate is studying, don't invite other people to come to your room. You keep the noise down, and then let him study. And also, it's absolutely important that you keep the room clean. I had bad experience. I had good experience and bad experience during my life. And for records, I had 15 roommates during 5 years. That indicates how popular I am, actually, how popular I was among the people. That is 15 roommates. Now, other thing is to keep your hands off their stuff, right? And study materials, their affairs, and everything. And also set the ground rules right, okay? Now, we are talking on the phone, I know, because some people can be very rude on the phone and can be very noisy. So talking on the phone, what time you make phone calls, you probably walk out. If it is a brief call, you can say yes or no, certainly you will answer. But then if it is something, a longer conversation, go out of the room and then you go discussing other people. The times you Skype. And also visitors you invite. And the cleaning. So that's the ground rules you set in your room, and then in order to maintain harmony with your roommates. Now, getting adjusted to the study program is a little more harder than getting adjusted to what we call the physical environment. Now, it is adequately addressed in your handbook, and page 27 very clearly spell it out. Right? So take time and then read about it. The main requirement for the student is to get out of the A-level mentality. Now, we have been telling this for all the medical students repeatedly over and over again. They should get out of what is called the A-level mentality. I was trying to do a little bit of comparison between the A-level student and medical student. Now, A-level student has only 3 subjects to study, whereas the medical students are near about 14 to 15 subjects to clear during that period. We have 14, I don't know whether it's more than that, something around that. Now, in a A-level, you have what's called well-defined syllabus. Syllabus is very well defined, and general questions are MCQs are not asked outside those syllabus. But then it doesn't happen in medicine. If you say a subject what's called medicine or surgery, and you can see the how vast is the subject, it's a huge spread, and then you can ask anything. In A-level students, they don't study textbooks as far as much as I know. Very little, very few actually, very few textbooks that they read, and they basically read what are called lecture notes, or notes given by the tutors, right? But then here's a different thing. You need to read textbooks. You'll be living day and night with textbooks, right? And in fact, I had a photograph, but I didn't want to do that. You know, medical students' bed that's half occupied by books, and leaving only half for the students to sleep. You know, and that type of thing. So it basically be living with books. Now you are given the ready-made study materials by your tuition masters, right? What doesn't happen in the university? You need to take down your notes. Okay, so it's not easy. Now in the tuition classes, everything is taught and explained, and we call it spoon feeding. And then it never happens in the university. You are guided, and you need to be a self-learner. In a lecture, 1 hour lecture, say on let's say acute renal failure, it is impossible, humanly impossible for a lecturer to cover each and every aspect of acute renal failure. Diabetes, hypertension, covering that within 2 hours. This is humanly impossible. So there will be many gaps in that lecture, and the students need to get back to their books and fill those gaps. If you can't do that, then of course problem. And also there won't be a repetition. Now I know about the A-level mentality, because they are for one particular subject, they go at least 2.5, average 2.5 teachers. Okay? For physics, given to at least 3 teachers, right? Doesn't happen. There's no repetition. Okay? So minimum or no repetition or minimum repetition in the medical course. So there's a huge contrast between the A-level mentality, A-level students, the ways A-level students learn, and also how medical students should learn. The main obstacle, immediate one, is the inability to overcome the A-level mentality, as I said repeatedly, and also waiting for someone to teach you, right? So don't expect that to happen. The language barrier is a huge problem, and then initially you may take at least 1 hour to read a page, one of those things. It's going to be as bad as that you are doing. But a lot of technical jargon, a lot of technical words are coming in between, and then complicated sentences, because the people who write these books, and they never write for the, in Sri Lankan medical students. And then, there's a lot of complicated sentences, and then as a result, you might take at least for 1 hour read or two. So unless you spend your weekend, and you will never be able to clear your backlog. So that you have to remember. So you can't be running home, every weekend, and you need to stay and study. Now, how students learn, and then from 10% of what you read, and 20% what you hear, and 30% what you see. So lectures are more effective than reading when you come to this thing. And then combination, you take combinations, then become a little better. Now, same thing in the graphic form. I think the learning pyramid, I just show that in order to get into a little discussion here, because average student retention rate, how much you will remember at the end of the day. If you're gone for a lecture, you will retain only 5% of what you said in the lecture. Are not very profitable things. If you read, then of course you might retain about 10% of that. So read in audio visual for e-library and 20%. You can improve on that if you have seen a demonstration, if you demonstrate it. Now the healthy thing for the medical students to do is at the ones at the bottom, right? That is where you should concentrate. What is called discussion. I'll come to that in a minute, right? Discuss with others, with your peers, with your friends. Practice doing, that will come when you come to become a clinical student. And teach others. That is something that you should do. You can do very well. So even your roommate is not ready to listen to you. Say, I'll buy you a cup of tea, if you can listen to me and teach him, so that he will remember that. Okay? So I'll just do that. I tell my roommate, I'll buy you a cup of tea. You listen to me, and then I'll teach him, right? So I'll remember that. So those are the three things that you should concentrate as medical students. These are the more profitable ones. Online learning, I think you all have more skills, IT skills than probably me, new generation, but then it gives a great access to large variety of quality resources. You can do it at any time, anywhere, at your whatever the pace that you want. And there are what are called the message can be augmented with sort of visual material. So there are a lot of advantages. I was told by some of the students that you read what is called Dr. Najib lecture series, very popular medical students. The coagulation cascade, actually, there's one medical student explained the coagulation cascade on YouTube, and very nicely, it makes it very simple. Anatomy dissections there are plenty of anatomy dissections that you can access in the YouTube, so those are very, very useful. I hope you have heard about this word. It's called rat race. Rat race actually came from the scenario where you put a rat inside the rotating drum in an experimental situation and get it to run he keeps on running, and then it's aimless running. He doesn't know why he's running, but this aimless running, the drum rotates and runs. Right? Okay. So it's an endless, self-defeating, pointless exercise. This is what medical science should be. I'll explain that in more detail after a couple of slides. This actually I've taken called Parakram Samudra, and this is fantastic. There's a meaning for that. Now, I'm going to the topic what is called small group discussions. We had plenty of those, and my room was the most popular place for the discussions, and we had a very healthy discussions actually. Now, the discussions were called small group discussion. That's what is called positive interdependence. They all are dependent on each other. So if they are doing bad, the whole group thinks, right? But if they are doing good, they are good. I remember that we had one discussion group, 6 people in MD, and they all got through. So that is what's called positive interdependence. There's a face-to-face interaction. Help each other learn. If you find the weaker link, there's somebody who is falling behind, and you have duty, and also you can possibly take him, a bit forward. So you identify the weak links in your discussion group. So a face-to-face interaction allow you to identify the weak students, and then bring them to the same level. There's individual accountability, and each member in the group know what is his responsibility, because he has a fair share. Now, there are guidelines given for the small group discussion. I hope you will get into the small group discussion soon, maybe in the first term itself. The managers were manageable number. 1 or 2, 3, not good enough. 10 is not manageable. So 4 to 6, I think, probably would be a manageable number. You have to have a regular place and a time, and have to have a captain who keeps the group on task, and he mediates conflicts, resolve conflicts between the members, and he is the one who keeps a sort of what's called bird eye on that, keep control over things. Now there's a recorder. There has to be a recorder who keep a record on the things that you have discussed. Let's say we have discussed this and that, and then end of the day you know that you have not discussed this. So he keeps a record of things that you have discussed. The encourager is the one who reminds the members then that you have to do this. He perhaps his role is to go back to question papers, past papers, and collect questions on a particular subject, let's say pneumonia or respiratory system, how many questions are there in the last 5 years, and distribute among people and say, you come prepared to discuss this particular topic. So that's his role. So they all have roles. Now, other members, you must maintain silence, and if you don't have to say anything, just maintain the silence. And also don't change the roles very quickly. Also, you can ask for clarification if you don't understand what other person has said, and then you can always clarify. They are your friends and your peers. Respect the contribution of others. Don't be nasty, and give an equal chance to everyone in the group. Right? All this have been sort of, tested, and then, there are so many things which are they're very well documented in a very good textbook. Now, I'll come back to this scenario. Do you think that they are just flying aimlessly? This for miles and miles, days and days they fly between countries, between continents. Now, the fellow in the front is the leader. What he does is he raises the airwave by. Then, what other people do is the other birds they follow that. So, really, they don't have to make a very minimum effort in order to stay in that line, because the first one raise their column, and he makes a little turbulence, and others follow. So, after some time, what happens is they change the role. Somebody takes the front position, and he does that. So, what happens is that they can arrive in their destination, they can get to where they want, and then without much problem. So, this is actually a very good example of medical students. And the medical students should follow this example, not rat race. The typical forgetting curve, and then you'll be disappointed if you study you study everything on what a particular topic, and the next day when you get up, 60% gone. Okay, you remember 40%. So don't get upset about it. Don't try to jump out of windows or something like that. That's reality. Well, a week gone, that's down to 20% now. Now come close to exam, which is a month later, and you almost forgotten everything. So that is the reality. Can we improve on this? There are various ways of doing that. Keep on cramming. Get upset about it and start studying again. It's called cramming. Not very productive thing to do. This is what you should be doing, what is called spaced repetition. Let's say you study that, and then you found that after about, let's say, one day, it comes to about 60%, 80%. And then you relearn it and bring to 100% again. Now you can see that it takes a longer time to reach 80%. Now it's taken double that time to reach 80%. Again, you reinforce it, and then it takes much longer time to reach down. Okay? This is what's called spaced repetition. Is it more profitable than cramming? Yes. Now the cramming, you wait until the memory drops to almost zero, and then suddenly you realize, hang on, I don't know anything about it, and study. So what happens is you have to bring it from 0 to 100. Takes again long time. So, and also it gives a negative feeling among you. Hang on, I have studied so much, but then I can't remember it. So that is a little bit of negative feeling. Right? But if you have what's called spaced repetition, you restudy at a pre-planned intervals. The less time to regain the knowledge, so you spend about maybe less time to put it back to 100. And also you have positive feeling because you always maintain about 80%. So if you know more than 80%, you can certainly pass the exams. And if you get 80%, you can get distinction. There's no problem about it. Okay? So you always maintain about more than 80% in you. Okay? But then it's not easy because you don't recall diary. You need diary to say, well, I need to study such and such subject on particular days. So you need recall diary. Okay? If you have recall diary, then you can do that. This is another concept that I have learned, but it's called interleaved practice. You got anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. We'll be studying this soon. It's a good idea to finish anatomy and then get to biochemistry and then to physiology. Or should be sort of, what's called interleaved, study anatomy, biochemistry, physiology. And people have found that the second system is much better, rather than trying to finish anatomy and then get into physiology and then biochemistry. To sort of, mix them up. That will be a profitable thing to do. It's more effective in the long term. My last few slides, I would say, medicine is science, and certainly it's art. When I said that, I think I need to tell you about the story of Frank Nitter. And I'm sure the academics here would know about Frank Nitter. I don't know how many students know about Frank Nitter. He was born in Manhattan, the USA, and then went to what's called National Academy of Design. He started contributing to what is called the Sunday Evening Post and the New York Times, 2 papers. But then, probably very much like a Sri Lankan parent, Nitter's parents were not very happy that Nitter's was spending time in the art. He persuaded them to go to medical faculty. So Nitter entered the medical faculty, parents, that they allow him to continue his career. in art. Parents, of course, consented. And then once he qualified and started practicing after a couple of years, he got this opportunity to work for a CIBA company still exists, CIBA drug company. And then this is the time that the digitalis, drug called digitalis was found, and it became the buzzword, like, found a wonder drug about what's called digitalis. You learn that in pharmacology. And then Frank Nitter was asked to devise some material, advertising material for the CIBA on digitalis. He did, and became an instant success. The Nitter changed the trajectory of his thing, and became almost like a medical artist. His pictures, his drawings on the human anatomy, unbelievably clear. In an era digital photograph was never heard, and we also have studied what I call Nitter's painting. He produced this atlas called Nitter's Atlas, very famous one, and this is what Nitter has done. Well, what about our own academics? Late Professor Basnaika, I have listened to him playing piano on this same place, right? And he has got a very good piano player, Professor Physiology. What about Professor Carlo Fonseca? I'm sure you all have heard. He's the president of the Sri Lankan Medical Council. I'm sure all the medical students have heard about him. There's Professor of Physiology from the University of Colombo, retired professor. And the Professor Carlo Fonseca talents on music and arts, which is very well known in composing. Professor Nanda Bodagada, I think I don't think many of you have heard of Professor Nanda Bodagada, Professor Forensic Medicine in Colombo. Was a great musician. Your own professor, Professor Nimasen Anayaka. I don't know how many of you have watched any drama. No? Don't watch the drama. Right. This is a photograph actually I treasure from the last exhibition. And I found this medical student, and particularly that girl, 15 feet high. And she spent days and days there. So this is they are trying to put up a heart. I'm sure some of you will have seen this in the last medical exhibition which we held about in March last year. And this is the heart that the people were walking through there. So they got this. And in fact, the story that I call engineers from the people from the engineering faculty, and to test what is called the structural stability and the integrity of these structures, what are called mega structures, because I had to get an insurance for the exhibition, and the insurance company said that you must test the integrity, structural integrity of these mega structures, otherwise you won't give insurance. So they fear that they may fall back on people, right? So when the engineers came and they met the students, so they asked the students, where is the structural plan, structural design? Structural design? You don't know about it. So engineers were really upset about it. They said, you built this without a structural plan? I said, yes. So in fact, engineers came back to me in my room and said, we don't know how they have done it, but they've done it. And we feel that's okay, that's sorry, right? So next time when you have exhibition, certainly we'll get a structural engineer to come and visit us and give a design, beforehand. But then this is how what they did. They had never thought about structural planning, but they did it. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. This is medical students, right? Sorry. Yeah. So my final two slides, and never give up on your dream. As Vice Chancellor very clearly said, it is sad to note that not that all 205 students will complete. There's no guarantee. And we do have one of these most unpleasant duties in the Dean's office is to tell a student that you have no more attempts left and you have to deal. It's one of the saddest things that you have to do in your life, but then you have to do it. At least I do twice a year. Tell people there are no more attempts left. It's a sad end to the whole saga, but then for the students remain focused. It's not that hard. But remember, as Vice Chancellor very clearly said at the beginning, I'm not that all 205 will fall out. There's no guarantee. Okay. But then never give up on your dreams. And imagine how many lives you can save. This is one of the medical students have written that it can't be inherited. But I have paid for this with my youth, my sleep, my sweat, my blood, and my tears. So I finally achieved it. So let me congratulate all of you for your single achievement, entering the best medical faculty. In our opinion, the best medical faculty, and I'm happy to argue on that, and in Sri Lanka. And when I say that, I got conflict of interest, really, right? And I hope you will enjoy it. And also, I hope you will have a very productive undergraduate career in this university. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We all are inspired by your work. Ladies and gentlemen, University of Peradeniya has become a dream destination for our students for its proud history, outstanding clinical record, and graceful environment. And I believe there's no other better day to learn more about our university, of this prestigious university, than the day where our new entrants officially become a part of it. So let me invite Professor HMDR Hera, Professor in Sociology, Faculty of Arts, University of Peradeniya, to do a brief introduction to this prestigious university.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to address this August assembly. Vice Chancellor, sir, Dean Medicine, Deans of Faculties, Professors, Lecturers, the others, our students. I think you can see this picture. It is inherited to us. ඔබ මේ දකින්නේ මේ සම්භාවනීය කීර්තිමත් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ සංකේතය. ඒ තුලේ දැක ලැබෙන්නේ they belong to the structures category in Asian civilization. They are plucking lotus. ලෝකයේ මේ ආසියානු සම්ප්‍රදාය තුල ඇත්තු කියන්නේ බුද්ධියේ දාම විශිෂ්ට දරන්නම් විදිහට සලකනවා. ඔවුන් මඩේ ඉපදී මඩේ පළ ගන්නු ලැබූ නෙළුම් කඩනවා මඩ නොගෑවි. Therefore, what I do is, my Vice Chancellor suggests as you do in your own language, but the thing is, we have belong this multinational, multicultural, multilingual country. In I'll try my best to tell in English. Okay? This is a very prestigious, majestic hill, range, what you call Antana. We have inherited this word from Sanskrit, Sandhana. In Sanskrit, Sandhana in the sense, Soul Rage introduced as an alliance, in the sense we had a prehistorical records and historical records also. මේ ඓතිහාසික සහ පූර්ව ඓතිහාසික සටහන් තියෙන්නේ මේ සන්ධානය කියන අපි මිත්‍රශීලී භවයේ සංකේතයයි ආර්යයන් සහ අනාර්යයන් අතර ඇතිවෙච්ච මේ සම්බන්ධතාවයේ එකඟකම අවසානයේදී එතන තියෙනවා ඌරා ගල කියලා එතනදී අපි එකඟ වෙනවා අපි මිත්‍රයෝ බවට පත් වෙනවා. After that, which became a sacred land. No fights, no problems at all. Now it became a very sacred land, very victorious land in our history. Because after that, this was the first kingdom in Kandy region in the 13th century, which was built by Vikramabahu. That's this prestigious place in Peradeniya. Later on, when we built in this university area, after that we have removed all these things. Later, we had found some, Buddhist statues in this area when we were building this university premises in 1940. After that, it was a forest which was belonged to the Peradeniya state. At that time, this period after 1830, we consider this particular place as a Peradeniya land, later on which was converted into the Peradeniya state, which was belonged to the Britishers. මෙහි තුල තේ, රබර්, උක් සහ කොකෝවා වලින් සමන්විත වෙච්ච පේරාදෙණිය වත්ත කියන එක බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයන්ට අයත් වෙච්ච මහවැලි ගඟ සමීපයේ සිදු ඉතාම සිත්ගන්නාසුළු චමත්කාර ජනක වත්තක් බවට පත් වුණා. පසු කාලීනව 1920 දී අපේ ගොඩනගනු ලබනවා University College, which was established in Colombo. Later on, number of commissions appointed to such a good land to establish a university. Then after that, in 1941, our man behind all these activities, Sir Jennings, came to Peradeniya. He was looking at the riverside of Mahavali. He decided to. He was a product of Cambridge. Close to the river. After that, he decided. So the prestigious place in future, certainly, will be the prestigious university in the world. අවසානයේ තීරණය කරනවා මේ මහා පේරාදෙණිය තේවත්තේ ගොඩනගන්න මේම ගෞරවනීය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය. පසු කාලීනව මේ ආස්වන්නේ මේ තේවත්ත පරිවර්තනය කරනු ලබන යුද හමුදා බැරැක්කවලට ඔබේ දැන් ඔය ජිම්නේසියම් එක සහ ඔබට දකින්න ලැබෙන ආර්ථික විද්‍යා දෙපාර්තමේන්තු පරිශ්‍රය අයත් වූයේ විශාල යුද හමුදා කඳවුරු වලට. මේ කාලේ දකුණු ආසියාව බාරව ඉන්නේ මවුන්ට් බැටන් සාමිවරයා. ඔහු විසින් කොළඹ සිට නුවරටත් නුවර සිට කොළඹටත් ආරක්ෂකයෙකු සඳහා උදේ සවස ගමන් කළා දුම්රියෙන්. After that, he was considered this particular place as a very sacred place and very victorious place. Then, after deciding Sir Jennings this place, he should establish this University of Sri Lanka. Then we have removed all these things. Now we can see in future that we can observe your gymnasium, which was a very old building. At that time, we have used this particular building to repair small flights. අපේ දැනට ඔබ භාවිතා කරන ජිම්නේසියම් කියන මේ ගෞරවනීය ගොඩනැගිල්ල දෙවන ලෝක යුද්ධ සමයේදී කුඩා අහස්‍යත්තා අලුත් වැඩියා කිරීම සඳහා භාවිතා කරපු ගොඩනැගිල්ල අපේ ගෘහ නිර්මාණ ශිල්පීන්ගේ උත්සාහස්භාවයේ හේතු කොටගෙන නව්‍යතම වූ ක්‍රීඩාගාරයක් බවට පරිවර්තනය කළා තියෙනවා. තාමත් ඉතාම සිත්ගන්නාසුළු අන්දමින් අපට දිස් වෙනවා. ඊට පෙර අපේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල කොලෙජ් කොළඹ පිහිටවන්නේ 1921 දී මේ තිබුණු රාජකීය ලීලාව අපට දක්වන්න ලැබෙන්නට පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඔබේ නිර්මාතෘවරයා කීර්තිමත්, I think we have to mention about Sir Ivor Jennings, the father of this particular university. We have to bow our heads for him. තාම ගෞරවනීය පුද්ගලයෙක්. He says that this is the place to establish the prestigious university in Asia. He says we have to establish a cultural center, particularly for Hindus and Buddhists. Finally, Dr. Anand Kumari Swami says, no, it is a cultural center plus university. Therefore, they develop that thought. I think very recently we have established another hostel to commemorate his name. අපි ළඟදී ගොඩනගලා තියෙනවා බොහොම ගෞරවනීය ස්ථානයක් Ivor Jenningsගේ පළවෙනි යුනිවර්සිටි කොලෙජ් එකේ උපකුලපතිතුමා වගේම පේරාදෙණිය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ පළවෙනි උපකුලපතිතුමා වශයෙන් එතුමා හඳුන්වන්නේ. ලාංකීය දේහය තුල ඔහු විසින් නිර්මාණය කරන ලැබු ප්‍රශස්ත දේවල් අතිශය වැදගත් වෙනවා. මුල් දවස්වල පේරාදෙණිය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය ලංකා විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය මාතර ප්‍රදේශයට ගෙන යාමට දාස් කළා. පසු කාලීනව වටපුළු වල අරුක් වලටත් ගෙන යාමට දාස් කළා. ඒ නිර්මාතෘවරයා සර් ජෙනින්ස් කියනවා නෑ ඒ අපි පේරාදෙණිය කියන පාරිසරික වශයෙන් ඉතාම කලාත්මක වශයෙන් සුන්දර වූ ළමයින්ට හිතකර පරිසර නිර්මාණය කරනවා. ඒ නිසා අප අනාගතයේ නිර්මාණය කළ යුතු වන්නේ ශිෂ්‍යෝ නොව. ඉතින් ඔබ ශිෂ්‍යෝ නෙවෙයි අදින් පස්සේ. You are not belong to the student category. You are human beings. ඒ නිසා මසින් ලේයින් හැදූ මිනිසු නිර්මාණය කිරීමේ ප්‍රශස්ත කාර්ය පැවරලා තියෙන විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට. ඒ නිසා මිනිසුන් බිහි කිරීමේදී ගෙන්දගම් පොළවක් නම් අපට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. වඩා හොඳ හිතකර පාරිසරික තත්ත්වයක් කියලා සර් ජෙනින්ස් තීරණය කරනවා පේරාදෙණියේ මේ සුන්දර වූ පරිසරයේ මත් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ ගොඩනැගිල්ලට. ඒ නිසා ගොඩනැගීමට ඔබේ නිර්මාතෘවරයා වශයෙන් අපි අද සැලකන්නේ මේ කීර්තිමත් අසහාය පුද්ගලයා. ඊළඟට ඔබට මම හඳුන්වලා දෙනවා it's a very fascinating university case which includes that two colors. ඔබට දකින්න prominent two colors, one is blood color and yellow color. Blood is it is indicating, symbolizing the social mobility. Okay, ජීව රුධිරය running very fast, it is indicating social mobility. After your higher education, then you move තමාගේ දූරාවලිය තුළට ඉහළ නැගීමේ ප්‍රස්ත කාර්ය සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ රුධිරයට. ඒ නිසා මේ රුධිරය තමයි ප්‍රධාන වර්ණය. ඊළඟට තියෙන්නේ කහ පාට වර්ණය. What it is indicating symbolizes the maturity of that society. Maturity is indicated symbolize the yellow color in front from this front. You can see our symbol that means lions, but he doesn't bear a sword. මෙහිදී ඔහු යුද්ධය සඳහා යන්නේ අපේ සිංහයා පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මනස. බ්‍රේන් එක තමයි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. In our symbol, it does not include that sword, like other Sri Lankan. Very fascinating. And there is a Sanskrit statement which says Sarvasya Lochanam Sastram. We are giving eyes to see this world. But මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේදී දෙනවා ලෝකයේ දැකීමේ ඇසක්. එයයි විද්‍යාවේ ශාස්ත්‍රයේ පද. After that your graduation, either MBBS or MBO, BO, whatever it is, you can look at this universe purposely and consciously. That's the meaning of graduation. Therefore, all flower, that means all our grass and our flower trees arrangement in inside, particularly in the April, end of April, you can see anyone who want to see in the sky, you can see the university crest. So අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අප්‍රේල් මාසයේ අග වෙනකොට බක් මාසයේ ඔබට බලන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා අපේ සම්පූර්ණම මේ මල් සකස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ මේ මුද්‍රාව නිර්මාණය වන ආකාරයට රතු සහ කහ පාට මල් වලින් ආකාශයේ බලන්නකොට ගුවනේත් බලන්නකොට මේ මුද්‍රාව නිර්මාණය වෙනවා. මේ ගලහන්දියේ රාමනාථ ශාලාව දක්වත් අනිකුත් පරිසරයන් තුලදී නිර්මාණය වෙන්නේ මේ වර්ණ දෙකකින් සමන්විත මේ සම්භාවනීය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ මේ මල් වර්ග වලින් සමන්විත මොස්තරයක්. එය ෂර්ලි ඩාල්විස් කියන කීර්තිමත් ගෘහ නිර්මාණ ශිල්පියාගේ සහ Patrick Abercombe, professor of architectural design in University of Cambridge. They have assigned, all these things to inherit to you. නිසා ඔබේ පාරම්පරික විශ්වවිද්‍යාල දේහය තුළ ප්‍රශස්ත ලෙස අලංකාර කිරීම සඳහා මේ විශිෂ්ට නිර්මාණයන් ආකෘතික වශයෙන් සකස් කරලා තියෙනවා. Then you can see this particular area is about 1,750 hectares of land allocated for the university. All these components are included in this area. In addition to that, 42 miles star roads are included into the university premises. Right in your life, certainly you cannot move here and there, but anyway, as a university student, you can go. This is your life, part of the university. I think again you can see the university campus. මෙසිත් ගන්නාසුළු ඔබගේ සරසවි භූමිය තුළ ලෝකයේ ගර්මකලාපී රටාවන් වල වැවෙන්නා වූ මල් වර්ග හදලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඔබ තරුණ වී පසුවන නිසා මම හිතන්නේ ප්‍රොෆෙසර් ලේකම්ගේ සඳහන් කරා ඔබ ආදරය දයාව කරුණාව වගේ මනුෂ්‍යත්වයට රැගෙන යා යුතුයි. ඒ නිසා ඔබට ඇවිදගෙන යාමට අවශ්‍ය ආදරේ පාරවල් ලවර්ස් ලේන් වගේම ෆ්ලවර්ස් ලේන් උත් ඇති කරලා තියෙනවා. මේ නිසා මේ සුන්දර පරිසරය තුළ නිර්මාණය පවතින්නේ මනුෂ්‍යත්වයෙන් සැබෑ ලෙස මිනිසෙකු බිහි කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය පාරිසරික පද්ධතියක්. විවිධ වර්ගයේ මල් වලින් ඒ ගහන වී තිබෙනවා. මේ සුන්දර දසුන තුළ ඔබට දකින්නට හැකිවන්නේ ඒ සුන්දරත්වයේ වඩා ප්‍රශස්ත වූ හැඟීම් දනවන සැබෑ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක දර්ශනයක්. ඒ නිසා ඔබ ජීවිත කාලයේම පුලපුලා සිටපු මේ සිහිනය මම හිතන්නේ සැබෑ වීම තුළ මේ කීර්තිමත් වූ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට ඔබ අවතීර්ණ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔබ දකින්නේ වගේම ප්‍රශස්ත සම්ප්‍රදාය බිහි කර ලැබූ පේරාදෙණි ගුරුකුලයේ මහාචාර්ය දිවිවීර සරච්චන්දන් නිර්මාණය කරන නාට්‍ය සම්ප්‍රදායන තුළ වගේම පේරාදෙණි විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය තුළ පවත්වන්නා වූ පීඨ නවයක ඒ නවයේම අග්‍රගණ්‍ය පීඨය වගේම සුන්දරත්වය සහ මානව දයාව නිර්මාණය කළ සංස්කෘතියක් නිර්මාණය කළ මේ අපේ මේ විවෘත රංගන රංග මඩල මහාචාර්ය දිවිවීර සාස්ත්‍රානන්ද සදාදරණීය ලෙස අපේ සීවටනයන් තුළ සදා රැඳෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ වෛද්‍යවරයෙකුට හෝ ඉංජිනේරුවරයෙකුට හෝ තාක්ෂණික නිලධාරියෙකුට හෝ සෑම පුද්ගලයෙකුටම තමාගේ මනස සපතා ගැනීමට අවශ්‍ය මහා නිර්මාණාත්මක සෞන්දර්ය නිෂ්පාදනය කිරීමේ ප්‍රශස්ත හැකියාව නාට්‍ය කලාවට ලැබී තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔබේ ජීවිත කාලයේදී අනවිභවනීය සිත සනසා ගැනීමක් අපේක්ෂා කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය ශක්තිය ඔබට ලැබේවි. ඔබ නොකඩවාම මේ කීර්තිමත් මහාචාර්යවරයා විසින් නිර්මාණය කළ මේ නාට්‍ය සම්ප්‍රදාය වාර්ෂිකව ඔබේ මානස සැකසීම සඳහා ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා නාට්‍ය කලා අනුමණ්ඩලය තුළින්. ඔබ සමාජිකයෙක් වෙමින් ඔබේ ජීවිතයට සුවදත්වයේ මනුෂ්‍යත්වයේ සහ කලාකාමී බව ආරූඪ කරගන්න ලෙස කියලා මම ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. ඔබට මේ දකින්නේ, when you look at this central or the hub of the university, it is connected direct to your history. It is connected to your history in the sense I have to go back to the university history when we were building this particular construction. Professor Patrick Abercombe was asking what kind of architectural designs associated to the Asian culture. Then one gentleman said it should be a Hindu tradition. Then Dr. Ananda Kumaraswamy said, no, it should belong to the Buddhist tradition. It says this is our Sri Lankan history. It is, you just look at, it is the first building in Anuradhapura. That means Lower Mahaprasade, which includes 1,600 pillars, 20 pillars. Here we brief into 160 pillars. You can see the administrative building, which is saying some historical things about our history. Then it is the appearance about this particular prestigious building. And now the starting point, we got Hinduism and Hindu architectural tradition in Polonnaru. After that, Anuradhapura tradition. This is a turning point from the main library premises. This is indicating the Hindu tradition. ඔබ මේ බලාගත හැකි වන්නේ මේ ගොඩනැගිල්ල B කාමරය නැත්නම් B දේශනශාලාව හින්දු සම්ප්‍රදාය නියෝජනය කරනවා අපේ ගෘහ නිර්මාණ ශිල්පයේ තුල පොළොන්නරුවෙන් පස්සේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි දඹදෙනියට එනවා. බොහෝ වෙලාවට ලංකාවේ විවිධ ප්‍රදේශවල නිර්මාණය කරගත්තු මේ කීර්තිමත් කලා ලක්ෂණ එකමුතු කිරීමෙන් තමයි මේ සකස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි ගමන් කරනවා නැවතත් මේ මුළු ගොඩනැගිල්ල පුරාම දැක්වෙන්නේ සුදු හස්තීන් සහ නෙළුම්මල්. හස්තියාගේ කාර්යභාරය වන්නේ බුද්ධිමත් සතෙක් වශයෙන් ඔහු නෙළුම් කඩනවා. ඒ නිසා නෙළුමේ අර්ථය වන්නේ පල් මඩේ ඇති වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ මඩ නොගාගෙන නැගී සිටීමයි. This is a fruit of the intelligence. Therefore, you are all belong to the success category. So, ඔබ හස්ති. ඒ නිසා ඔබේ කාර්යභාරය වන්නේ බුද්ධියේ අග්‍රඵලය වූ මේ නෙළුම් නෙලා ගැනීමයි. ඒ නිසා ඔබේ මේ වගකීම ඔබ ඉතා හොඳින් ඔබේ මනසේ සබාගත යුතු වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ අපි දන්නවා අපි తాවකාලිකව මේ this medical faculty has temporary building. It's a developing building creations, but we have very genius professors produce this particular premises, this particular institution. But in future, certainly we'll have architectural very successful building complex in this area. You can see this is again this after that Polonnaruwa period. We are moving towards Dambadeniya, Kurunegala, and other periods. It is symbolized in the Chinese lion. In the Yapahuwa period, in Chinese lion, it is displaying that particular period. The Chinese emperor captured this Dambadeniya, that is indicating the laughing lion. After that, we are moving towards this Kandy, the last capital, because top of this building, all architectural designs connected with Dalada Maligaon and other complexes. And in addition to that, in the top of this building, you can see this art gallery, that the fence we have taken from Sanchi Stupa in India. All designs we have taken from Dalada Maligaon, and all architectural designs we have taken from, it is very prestigious wood designs from Mbeke, all doors. And this is connecting Anuradhapura and Kandy, two situations in the sense Gajasingha, it is symbolized in the Anuradhapura flag. Right now, this bridge Normally, our students they introduce as Aliaboko. No, it is gadgeting a bridge. It says we are bridging your whether it is Sinhalese or Tamils or Muslims, it is your culture. See, you have your prestigious history. Maybe it's a material culture as well as non-material culture. You encode all these things accommodated into your material culture in this university, and it is symbolized on what you call this your punkalasa. It is after your graduation. Here you see this all these elephants are tuskers are plucking lotus. I think Professor Lekamge has he emphasized the end of that. What we'll do is I think this is I'll go back to this. This is end of this your graduation. Certainly you will get you will can achieve what you call this punkalasa. ඔබට ලැබෙනවා ඔබේ උපාධියෙන් පස්සේ සිතූ පැතූ සම්පත්. ඔබේ විවාහය, ඔබේ සාමාන්‍ය ගෘහ ජීවිතය, සාමාන්‍ය පුද්ගලයෙකු පරිවර්තනය වෙනවා මහා විදග්ධ බුද්ධිමතෙකු සහ ඉතාම පොහොසත් සංස්කෘතිය තවත් කීර්තිමත් පුද්ගලයෙකු බවට ඒ බවට හැරවීමේ කාර්යභාරය පැවරලා තියෙන්නේ ඔබේ මේ ලෝගු වලින් සැරසී සිටින කීර්තිමත් විදග්ධ වූ විද්‍යාඥයින් වූ ආචාර්ය මහාචාර්යවරුන්ට ඒ වගකීම් පැවරලා තියෙන්නේ සැබෑ විනයකින් යුක්ත ප්‍රශස්ත පුද්ගලයන් නිර්මාණය කිරීමේ මහා හැකියාව මේ ඔබේ කීර්තිමත් ආචාර්ය මණ්ඩලයට පැවරී තිබෙනවා. ඔබ අද විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට ඇතුළත් වෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය දරුවෙක් වශයෙන්. නමුත් ඔබ වෘත්තිකයෙකු බවට හෙට ලෝකයකට යනවා. ඒ කාර්යභාරය ඉෂ්ට කරනු ලබන්නේ මේ අසහාය වූ ඔබේ ගුරුවරු. ඒ නිසා ඒ දෙයක් ඔබට පුළුවන් එතකොට මේ සිතූ පැතූ සම්පත් ලබා දෙන්නා වූ වස්තුව what we call it is භද්‍ර ගටය. Finally, after achieving your graduation certificate, you can get this symbol. Yes. Then it is again we are getting science from India. It is indicating the sense of what we call this. It is in science faculty. They have taken from Sanchi Stupa how science approached Sri Lanka. Again, all these decorations assigned to that. All these in our prestigious hostels as well as in our Senate buildings, and some designs they have allocated in medical faculty also in original designs they have taken from Watadage in Polonnaru. Then again we can see some medical faculty pillars designs originally according to these Nisankalata Mandapaya associate pillars we are is connected with that Polonnaru tradition again. Decorated things, same things, right? Again, this is the 100% completed building complex is science faculty. Next one is engineering faculty. I think this is indicating your prestigious architect, what called this Shirley D. Alvis. He is the man behind this. After handing over this particular plan by Professor Patrick Abercombe, he has taken this responsibility. I look after this part, then commemorate his very attractive, very prestigious task. We have Alvis Pond in front of the science faculty and the Arunachalam Jayatilaka Hall. Yes, I'll stop this discussion. My time is over, but I can tell you what your Vice Chancellor has said that. අපි තාම දුක්බුසු සිදුවීමකට පසුගිය සතිය තුළ මුණ දුන්නා. මම කිව්වා අපි මේදී ශිෂ්‍යෝ හදන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. අපි මිනිසුන් හදන්නේ. ඒත් අපි සාමාන්‍ය වර්ෂයකට සැරයක් විතර අපි මුණ පානවා. ඒ දරුවන් අපේ මන මහන්සි වෙලා හදාපු දරුවෝ මේ යනවා විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය තුලදී. ඒ නිසා අපට අවශ්‍යයි එකක් තමයි you need that self protection, self honor, self prestige and self respect. Therefore you don't have your parents here, you have some friends and your teachers. So atma gauravaya, atma shaktiya saha atma vishwasayen yukta ලෝකයක් නිර්මාණය කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය පසුබිමක් මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය තුළ තියෙනවා. ඔබට පිටුපසින් ඉන්න දෙවන්ත එකම බලවේගය වන්නේ ඔබේ ගුරුවරු පමණයි. මම හිතන්නේ ඔබගේ පුතුමා කිව්වා අද ඇතුළත් වෙච්ච සියලු දෙනාම වෛද්‍යවරුන් වශයෙන් එළියට යන්න බැරි වෙයි කියලා. ඒ නිසා අපට අවශ්‍යයි මේ ඔබට පිටුපස ඇති දෙවන්ත බලවේගී වූ ගුරුවරුන් සමග යා හැකි ගමනක් තියෙනවා. We have a very open, very clear road. Behind your old activities, there are very iron shadows. The sense your teachers, prestigious professors, and well-known scientists behind you. They will guide you, but you have to create your self-confidence and self-protection. Therefore, we need that. Please have a very good academic life in this university. ඔබට ඉතාම හොඳ වෘත්තීයමය ජීවිතයකට අවශ්‍ය පසුබිමක් මේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය නිර්මාණය කරා. ඊට අවශ්‍ය ශක්තිය හා ධෛර්යය ලැබී කියලා මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. සියලු දෙනාටම බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and valuable time with us. Let us mark the end of the formal function by proposing a vote of thanks. May I kindly request Chairman, Student Affairs, Dr. Irushika Fernando, to address this esteemed gathering.
Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Upul D. Disanayake, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Lakshman Vijayveera, Inaugural Speaker, Professor Sarat Lekhamvasan, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Professor Vajraveera Singha, Dean of other faculties, Acting Bursar, Professor HMDR Herat, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the Faculty of Medicine, would like to express a very hearty vote of thanks to all distinguished guests for your valuable presence in spite of your busy schedule. I may like to express our sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Upul Disanayake, for his encouraging words towards our new entrants. I'm also very grateful to Professor Sarat Lekhamvasan, the inaugural speaker, for his inspiring and interesting lecture. And also, we would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Professor HMDR Herat for giving an excellent coverage of this prestigious university. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to Professor Vajraveera Singha, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, for the perfect logistic support and guidance he has extended to all of us in planning the welcome ceremony. Further, we are grateful to the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dean of Agriculture, Allied Health Sciences, Arts, Dental Sciences, Engineering, Management, Science, and Veterinary Medicine and Animal Science faculties for their presence today as an effort of encouragement to our new entrants. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for the acting bursar, proctor, and the deputy proctor. I am failing in my duties if I don't thank the academic staff of Faculty of Medicine, the non-academic staff of Faculty of Medicine, and the Medical Faculty Student Union for enormous cooperation in organizing this event. Also, would like to express the gratefulness to the members of the Student Affairs Committee, staff of the Dean's Office, and the staff of the Technical Resource Center for their great support extended to make this event a success. Finally, I would like to thank Dr. Buddhika Alahakon for her beautiful, inspiring campaign. I cannot thank everyone enough. for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. Therefore, once again, I would like to thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the proceedings of the welcome ceremony. Please rise for the recital of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the procession to leave the hall. Thank you very much. Now you may take your seat. I have great pleasure in inviting the staff members to the pillared area for refreshment. There are a few announcements for the new entrants. Refreshment is arranged for students in the beach area. Enrollment of the students will commence at 11:30 a.m. in the beach area. It is the ground floor of the preclinical block. It is towards the right-hand side of the dean's office when you are entering the faculty from the main gate. Once the enrollment finishes, a bus is arranged to take you to the hostel at 1:30 p.m. The students are kindly requested to be present at 7:45 a.m. tomorrow, 2nd of November, near the examination hall for their English placement test. Please be informed that the examination hall is the building between the dean's office and the physiology lecture theatre. Transport will be provided for the residents of the hostel at 7:15 a.m. Thank you and have a nice day.